Big day today, guys. It's a big day. I'm about to leave my house and go and collect, can't believe I'm saying it, go and collect my new Porsche 911 that is now mine. I've done it. I can't believe it. I'm beyond excited. Oh, I just can't, I've got no words. I'm speechless, to be honest. So the rest of this video is me in silence, speechless. If you didn't see the last video, we went to go and see a car 2 weeks ago now, and today is the day we're picking it up. It is a beautiful 911 996. It's 2001. It's the Carrera 4. We drove it. We fell in love with it. We just felt like it was a car we couldn't let go. We couldn't get our heads around the idea of not buying it. So we bought it. It's my birthday next month. It's an early birthday present. I'm turning 28. We've booked an Uber to drive us, so it's in Woking. So we thought we'd, because it's a big day, treat ourselves to an Uber to get there. So it's maybe an hour-and-a-half drive, so it'll be much quicker for you guys, but for us, in an hour-and-a-half from now, we're gonna have the keys. We're gonna be off. We are both just beyond excited, like we basically couldn't sleep last night. Time is going really slowly right now. Today's video, I'm gonna show you the car, I'm gonna show you the spec, we're gonna go around the entire thing. The last video I kind of mentioned a few bits, but we were actually like having to be there seriously looking at the car and figuring out if we wanted to buy it or not. So this time, because it is our car, I can slow down, I can show you absolutely everything and share with you my new, beautiful car. Currently nameless, so please get your comments below what we're going for, because it's very important to name a new car, I think. But if you are new around here, please know that I have so many ideas for this car, so many video ideas. I'm so beyond grateful for this channel, and it's the reason I've been able to buy this car. So thank you so much to everyone who watches. Thank you if you're subscribed. Thank you if you comment. Thank you if you like the video, or even just watching it. It's just amazing. But today feels like the biggest day ever on the channel. I'm gonna stop rambling. We're gonna get in our Uber. Oh my goodness, I can't believe this is actually happening. Okay, hour-and-a-half Uber complete. We are just walking in now. It's such a nice area here. Where we're picking this car up from, it's beautiful. So it's just like countryside, amazing houses. Yeah, very, very excited. It's a bit foggy today. It's a bit mysterious. It's like funny weather, but in about a minute, we'll have the car. We're in. Morning, you alright?
Fine, how are you?
Good, yeah, good, thank you.
Since you're there.
Perfect. Here it is. I'm the owner of this car. I can't quite believe it. So handover's all done. It was very smooth. We transferred the money a few days ago, and it was literally picking up the huge file paperwork that comes with the car, getting a couple of keys, shaking some hands, and then we're good to go. So it's fine, it's all done, it's finished. So this is, if you didn't see the previous video, it's a Porsche 911 996 Carrera 4. So it's 2001, the mileage is around 86,000, so it's not super high, it's not ridiculously low, it's just a good amount of miles, I suppose. Don't know why I'm talking about it being a nice mileage when there's quite a lot of other things going on here, and I'm like, 86,000 miles, a very nice mileage to have. It's not, it's a number, it doesn't matter. You may be wondering about the registration number. This is like a personalised plate. I think a lot of you are going to love it and a lot of you are going to hate it. Obviously it's got the 996, which is quite cool for the right model, but Sig reminds me of cigarette, so I don't know if that's like vintage and like, not that cigarettes are cool, but like suits the car, 2001, everyone was probably smoking at the time, or is it like SIG? I quite like it. I quite like that it's got a personalised plate and it saves me having to buy one, and it's got the car model number on. But yeah, let me know in the comments. Do you love it? Do you hate it? The number plate, not the car. Don't tell me you hate the car, because that will really offend me and I'll be very upset. Although these were one of the hated models actually. It's the older fried egg headlights, even though it's not as orange. The yoke's not as orange as the early ones, but I mean, I think when I did a preview of this car, you all went mad and said how much you loved it. So I think most of you are going to love this car on the channel, even if a few of you don't, but that's fine. It's personal opinion. But I'm here to tell you that 996s are very cool cars, okay? You heard it here. Not first, but you'll hear it here an awful lot, I imagine. So I'm not sure where to start on this. There's a lot to say. The colour is, I think it's Arctic Silver. I need to double check that. I think it's Arctic Silver. The paintwork looks amazing. So when we saw it, it had literally been dropped off. Someone had brought it in as a part exchange. It hadn't been cleaned, so it was it looked great still, but it was quite dirty. Now, like, the paintwork is amazing. We've actually got some plans for a detailing video on this very soon, but it's been done very nicely. I mean, you can see there, it does not look like a 23-year-old car at all. And then the same story for the wheels, really. Like, they're in such good condition. I think they've been refurbished, or I imagine they have, because they're, why did I touch that? Because they look so great. And these are quite rare wheels. It's like a bit of a standout on the car because they're not like the standard. I'll put a picture in of the ones in the, oh, there you go, just there. That's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of standard wheel that I kind of imagine one of these to have. So these ones stand out a little bit and I really like them. I think what I can't get my head around is that, like, seeing that badge feels like such a big deal to me and that I own it. Like, I worked at BMW, so like BMW is just doesn't mean much to me in my head anymore because it's all, I've always had it. Same with like Range Rover, Land Rover. I love the cars, but I've owned them for a while now and I've kind of gotten my head around that. But like, seeing that, it's kind of like, whoa, it feels like a big deal to me. And the tyres, honestly, they're like, if I try not to get filthy, they're like chunky things size wise. So these are they're Michelin Pilot Sport, so good tyres and they've got a lot of tread on. Let me see, I can't quite remember what size they are.
Down on the ground.
I know, it's ridiculous. Poor John in there is probably thinking, what is she doing? It's fine, we're fine. 235 40 18s. Great. So 18-inch wheels. You might notice the car sitting very low. It's almost like touching here, and then out. I've done my knee in a bit, so excuse the hobble. Same at the back here. It's really, really low, but it's not so low that it's annoying and you can't go over bumps. Like, coming in here, it's really bumpy and gravelly, and you don't scrape at all. So obviously you've got enough clearance, but it makes it look quite good being on the lower sport suspension, and it makes it stand out a little bit maybe from other ones I might have seen. One of my favourite views is the rear end. We all like that video, lots of funny comments on that one. I just love this kind of, what would you call it, like triangle here at the back, huge slope down here, and then just like sweeps across. I absolutely love that. And then also I love how the rear looks. Like, I think it's amazing. I love this with the rear grille, and it like lifts up as well past 40 or 60 or something. I can't quite remember. Again, I'm new to this. I need to learn all my facts about these, so I'm very excited to get to know the car. I love that the Carrera 4 is kind of the same colour as the paintwork. That looks great as well. We've got the upgraded exhaust here, so I'll start it up in a second for you to hear. It's got a Miltech Sports exhaust, so it's not one of those. So when we had the M4, I found that to be, like, for me, too loud. It was like amazing and it sort of makes you smile, but for everyday use, like starting it up at 6 in the morning in the quiet road we live, it's a bit like, sorry neighbours, this is loud, but it's not in your face. It's not a show-off exhaust. It's an exhaust you can like appreciate and feel good about. And when you're getting up to speed, like, the sound in this car is amazing. I cannot wait to show you it in a second when we drive it. So yeah, we'll get to that in a second. But I do want to have a look at the engine, but I genuinely don't know where anything is. I'm assuming, yeah, we've got a little button down here. It's like an electric switch. Ah, perfect. It's quite warm actually. We need to be careful, but so funny seeing an engine at the rear of a car. I'm so not used to that concept either. Yeah, looks good. Looking pretty clean again for a 23-year-old car. It's amazing actually, look. It's very hot. Let's not melt the camera, George. Can you imagine? Sorry, this video's had to end because our camera's melted. So funny how small this little door, this little flap is as well. You never know how hard to do it, because if you do it too weak, then you have to do it again, then it's a bit embarrassing. But if you do it too hard, you don't want to break it. Anyway, let's head inside now. It's hard to talk about cars, isn't it, from the inside if you're on the outside. Let's go through a few bits. I need to get my driving position right, but the first thing I'll say in here, simplicity. It's so simple. There's so many things I like that again, it's not in your face. It's like the most classy car, I feel. Lovely steering wheel. It's actually an upgraded steering wheel. So yeah, the sports steering wheel, really lovely to hold on to, really nice to drive. I think the badge is slightly faded into silver, unless it was meant to be like that. I think it's faded, but I actually really like that because the silver goes with the rest of the car a lot better. We've got the Carrera 4 here. We've got some nice Porsche rubber mats down here, which I think is an extra because yeah, that just makes my life easier. I love that, especially this time of year. So we've got the center console delete, which is a bit of a random one. And when I first heard about it, I was like, well, that doesn't mean much to me. But if I put in a photo here of what it should look like, I actually am really pleased that it has been deleted. It's just, there's several reasons. Firstly, I think it looks cleaner and there's a real focus on sort of keeping your head up and not like fiddling around with all these little things here. I find there's so many times in cars when there's just too much going on, there's too many buttons and cubby holes and you just think, I just want to drive it, I don't care about that. So it's clean and it's neat. Also, less so for me because I am not a man. I tend not to drive with my legs wide open, but if I did, as a man, I think George would often sit like this. He's got like the room to do it. Obviously, I tend not to do that when I'm driving, at least that I'm aware of. So I don't really get affected by that. But I think someone with long legs, or if you're a man that likes to open his legs, bizarre, I don't think I've ever said that sentence in my life. If you're a man who likes to open his legs, the center console delete is a good feature for you. And then the third reason I like it is I actually learned it is a feature that my car now shares with a GT3 version of these. So again, it's kind of making it feel a little bit more focused on the drive as opposed to how it looks, which I really like. Next, manual. Obviously, I'm not going to buy an automatic. It's manual, but it's got the upgraded short shift. So if I demonstrate, it's really such a small range of motion from going like up and down in the gears. I didn't think I'd like this because when you're driving an older car, when you're driving a manual, I find you already have to kind of, until you know the car, until you've driven it for a while, I think it can take a little bit of getting used to because obviously all gear sticks are different, the placement, everything about it. But with this one, it just felt so right. Straight away, I was not thinking like, am I in 1 or 3 or 5? What am I doing? Like, you know, sometimes when you're not sure about the difference between like the top 3 gears, I don't know if that's just me, but I find sometimes you've got to like wiggle it around a little bit. This, straight away, I was used to it, so I don't have to think about that at all, which is great. Manual, again, handbrake. We haven't got a button or a switch or a pulley. It's just nice, it's simple, it's leather, it's good. The seats are in really good condition again, 23 years old. They're nice and soft. You've got like the perforated leather, which is good. We haven't got anything like heated seats in here, so we can't talk about that, but it has got an upgraded Continental radio, but it's not one that's huge and big and in your face. It kind of blends in nicely, so it doesn't look like you've chucked some like modern thing into an old car. It's got that kind of retro look still, which I like. The dials are all black, and the one we drove before had silver dials, or no, white dials, I think. So we've got like the red and black, which again goes with the badge, and it's just keeping it kind of, again, like focused on the drive. And those 5 dials are just iconic 911, but I do need to get used to the whole 0, 25, 50, 75, 100 thing. Like, I need to learn what my dashes are in between, because obviously I'm so used to like going up in 10s. This goes up in 25s, so I do need to get used to that. We've not got a sunroof, but I like that. I don't particularly like sunroofs unless it's like the Defender or the Tesla, where it kind of really suits it and it feels right. In here I want to feel cozy and warm, and it, like I'm cocooned in this car. I wouldn't want a sunroof, but it's got the Alcantara lining up here, which feels wonderful. Again, the condition is really amazing. Oh, I've not looked in here yet. Shall we? Lovely, very generous. Probably the smallest one of these I've ever seen, but it's handy and it locks, which is good. Another thing which I found quite funny when I first learnt it, let me put the key back. There's nowhere to put your book, like a glove box. It goes underneath the steering wheel, which is a bit weird. Like, I almost feel like it's going to fall down while I'm driving. It's a little bit odd, but we've got our, oh cool, there's a brochure for the radio in there as well. That's quite handy. Then there's something from the original person who bought it. As a thank you for your order, you'll receive the latest Porsche magazine Originale. I quite like that all the original stuff's in here. And then obviously the driver's manual. There's a little detailing card in here. This is so funny. I love seeing all like people's personal things from when they first bought it. But yeah, so it's got a little holder down there to keep it safe, but it's just funny that it's sort of above my feet as I'm driving. Speaking of files, oh, look at this, look at the size of it. So we've got this much paperwork for this car. It's all the receipts of basically everything. Oh, and also this car has had a Hartech engine rebuild, which is huge, and it's like a very prestigious company to do it. And we know, as you know, if you don't know, there's two things with these cars that you look out for. It's the IMS bearing and it's a bore scoring. This has been inspected and there's no bore scoring, and it's had the Hartec engine rebuild, meaning that we don't need to worry about the IMS bearing because it's been done. So 2 huge ticks there, and I probably wouldn't go near a car that hasn't had those 2 things sorted, or at least sorted and check that they're not there. So that's really good. But yeah, we've got a huge amount of service history, and the book is so full it's actually run out of space, so I need to buy a new one for the next service. The last service they did here, they've put it on a little post-it note, and then when I bring it back for stuff, their workshop can stamp it for me to put into the new book. But we've actually run out of space, which is a really good sign. Like, it's got an amazing service history, really thorough, and all with Porsche specialists or at Porsche themselves in London, Tonbridge. Where else have we been? Norwich. This is quite cool looking through this, isn't it? But yeah, I think that's a great sign. And then obviously it's a 4-seater, which is amazing. We've got a 2-year-old. I'm going to put in a quick video here just for memory's sake, probably for me. But this was George trying to convince me to buy one of these. And when we pick him up later, he's not actually going to believe that we've now got one.
Day 2 of persuading my fiancé to let us buy a Porsche until we get one.
We're going to narrow it down, okay, for Mummy. We need to make Mummy visualise it a little bit more. So we're going to say to Mummy, I want a 911.
911.
Perfect. And which colour?
Red.
The red one, yeah. Okay. Red 911. Can you say that?
Red 911.
Perfect.
I want a Porsche. And the red 911 on the red part, and they on the red part, and I will find the various.
What?
It is real.
It is real. What's real?
It must be a 911.
Not Boxster.
No, not a Rockstar. 911.
We do need to buy a car seat for him, so if you've got any recommendations for car seats that fit in these, please let me know. He's 2.5 years old, but he's very tall. He's like really tall for his age, so we need something that he's got a little bit of room. I personally won't be spending any time in the back because it's near on impossible to sit in the back here because it's so tight and like my head doesn't actually fit. But just so you can see, there is 4 seats, which is really nice, and there's a bit of storage space at the back here. And I believe these actually fold down, but I don't know how to do it. Sit over here. Is that it? Yeah, amazing. So if you wanted to, I don't know why, I just put suitcases there or something. Yeah, that was easy, although my arm's not stuck. There you go. So it now looks like some bizarre like display I'm going to put, I don't know, sell cupcakes from or something. That's really funny. It's like raised little shelves. Amazing that there is the option to have more space in this car if you need it. Time for that all important first drive. We're going to start up. You need to go to the back and film it with this, don't you? Because we want to hear it.
I can't hear you now.
You can't hear me, sorry. Is that a good idea? I don't know if I want to start it twice for 2 shots, because then I don't know if it's very good for it, just starting it over and over again. Okay, I'll see you on the other side. One sec. I think it just hits that perfect note, that exhaust. It's just beautiful. Music to my ears, as they say. I am so happy and I cannot wait to drive this thing. We've got a really nice long drive home. We're going to stop for some lunch on the way to celebrate, to spend more money. And yeah, still can't believe it. We are back, if you haven't seen already, we're back at ePorsch, which is in Bisley. So John here has taken care of us. He said to me that quite a few of you guys have come and bought cars from him or come to view cars because you've watched these videos, which is amazing. Obviously great for his business. It's great for me that like I can recommend places to you, and it's been a very seamless experience here. We've waited for the right car to come in. John really recommended this car to me personally because he knew what I wanted, and I think he's as happy as I am that I'm in this car today, not just from the point of selling me a car, more just that it's the right car for me and it's what I wanted, and we waited for the right car and it's finally here. So you're expecting me to do a drive-off shot, but you've left your door open. Do you want to go in? But I can't quite believe that I'm now a Porsche 911 owner. Like, I feel, it's the word imposter syndrome, where I feel like it's not actually real and I feel like I shouldn't be sat in this car right now. It's really bizarre. So time for the first drive in my new car. Oh, you just want more road. It's really hard to not drive this really quickly.